to the Doctor's Inn. I'm Marcia Boyles, and I'm delighted to begin this morning introducing my program partner, Dr. Sethi. Good morning, Dr. Sethi.
Good morning.
We're glad to have this program today. This is our third program, and we're excited to be doing one on fitness.
Yes, indeed. This is a follow-up, of course, to what we had introduced last time, which was talking about bones and muscles. And so we wanted to make sure we had emphasized having an exercise plan. And so we want definitely talk about fitness.
All right. Well, I think we should introduce our two guests. Let's start with that. Eloise Stinger is one of the stars of our many programs. She's been on our Vantage Point, and That's Life. So we're awfully glad to have you today, Eloise.
Thanks, Marcia.
And you're going to be talking about your exercise plan. Juanita Kuntz, I think, probably is well known to most of the people in the community. Juanita is our fitness center coordinator. You've been here how many years?
It is 13 this month.
13 years. I knew it had been a long time.
Yeah, I love it here.
So you certainly have helped a lot of people in this community.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
Well, Dr. Sethi, as you indicated, this is really a follow-up of our last program in which we talked about muscles and bones, and I thought it might help the viewers just to have a real quick little a recap of what we talked about in our last program. We talked about the fact that that muscles lose both strength and mass as we age, particularly, and that this starts at around age 30 to begin to lose them. At 65, it begins to accelerate in terms of the rate of loss. One of the ways that we can reverse the loss is, or at least partially reverse the loss, is exercise and good nutrition.
Yes, indeed.
All right, then we talked about bones, and we said that bones were a very dynamic, we don't think of them as being a living organ, but they are, that they have several functions, not just supporting our frames and allowing us to move, but also protecting our soft parts, our brain, our lungs, our heart. In addition to that, the marrow, the inner portion, produces the both red and white blood cells, and also acts as a depository of calcium and other minerals.
That's right.
So any other functions that I have missed here?
No, I think you captured it, Marcia.
All right, and there again, we lose both bone density and mass. That can also be partially reversed, or at least that decrease slowed with good exercise and good nutrition. I think with bones, one of the things that you mentioned in our last program that struck me was that were the 3 F's, as you call them. With loss of bone density, particularly, we are liable to fractures, frailty, and falls. So those all being such serious issues for all of us as we age. All right, well, with that, why don't you talk a little bit about exercise and the kinds of exercises and what an exercise plan would look like?
Sure. So let me start by saying that falls are really, really important. 1 out of 3 individuals above the age of 65 fall every day. And while that number seems shocking, it is an accurate number, and it represents all comers. It's not about those who have osteoporosis. This is all individuals. So it's particularly important that we think, what can we do to prevent this? So in this context, to prevent ourselves from falling, we've got to have good muscle strength, and we've got to be able to maintain good bone density as long as we can. We may not be able to make it go away with the measures we're going to talk about today, and it will not, but it'll certainly help to improve it. So everybody needs to exercise. I'm going to start off by speaking of Norman Vincent Peale and the power of positive thinking. And the reason I start with that is I'm very heartened by the fact that I see the residents walking in the hallways all the time. Now, of course, I don't know who is or not walking, but I can tell you that everybody that comes to the medical center gets advice about exercise and walking for 30 minutes daily. It's not something that the medical center dreamt up or any particular physician is projecting their bias. This is based on medical data, which shows that when you walk 30 minutes a day, not only are there benefits to you physically in terms of improving your strength, but also in terms of your overall health. So walking is wonderful, and Green Spring is to be congratulated in that it has all these extensive maze of hallways. I call it a little bit of a maze, but you can walk no matter rain or shine. And that's a very good thing to do. So if you can't walk for 30 minutes, everybody's exercise plan has to include walking. If you can't walk for 30 minutes, you don't have to do that in one go. You can walk for 10 minutes at a time. Please don't count walking in your apartment towards that 30 minutes. Because while you are walking, it's not sustained enough to cause those benefits to you. So if you're walking in the hallway, you can do 10 minutes at a time. To maximize the benefit from walking, if in addition to your legs, which of course you're using when you walk, if you can use your arms, if you can move your arms forwards and backwards, that helps to improve the benefit of walking.
Hopefully not sideways in the hallway.
I wouldn't recommend that because on the one side you may hit a person and on the other side you may hurt yourself hitting into the wall. I know you're being facetious. So the walking is the one part of it, but that alone is not sufficient because it's really the strength that one loses as one gets older. And that loss of strength is what limits mobility ultimately. One of the common complaints I hear is, I don't have the strength and I feel weak. So how are we going to overcome that? We talk about physical therapy. So what does physical therapy do? Physical therapy teaches you how to walk, teaches you how to exercise, how to do those strengthening exercises. So we need to do those strengthening exercises. Decades ago, I had a yoga instructor tell me, it didn't matter, I don't believe him, it didn't matter if I didn't walk for an hour every day, but I needed to do the strengthening exercises. And you need strengthening exercises for every part of your body, hands included. Now, you may not even think the hands matter, but you know, people have difficulty with their hands. You can't carry the same bag that you could carry before. It's because your hands don't feel strong enough. So we need those strengthening exercises. So everybody doesn't need to go to the fitness center, but you need to learn to do those strengthening exercises, and we've got experts here to tell us how to do those, and there are many modalities that are available to do those. And when you start doing those exercises, you'll begin to feel the benefit yourself. You'll feel your hands feel better. So for the hands, a simple exercise is to open your hands and close your fists and hold them tight before you release them. And if you tie this to breathing, and we'll hear more about this as we go on, then as a simple example, it can help to improve the strength in your hands. So we need to improve the strength in our legs, we need to improve the strength in our shoulders, so our arms work better, and in all of the body. So we're going to hear more about that as we go on today, aren't we?
Oh yes, we're going to hear a good bit more. I think in the last program you mentioned the fact that in as short as 2 weeks, one could begin to see quite a difference.
Yes, and now that difference, so one good thing to do is to always be aware and to have a metric to go with whatever process we're using, right? So if the process is exercise, what's the benefit? And so you must remain mindful of that and see what it's doing for you. And if it's not working, then you need to speak with someone to find out why it's not working. Maybe you're not doing the exercises correctly. Maybe when you're walking, there is something else that you need to be mindful of. Maybe you're leaning forward too much, you're making yourself uncomfortable where you don't feel like doing the exercise. So everybody's got to have this exercise plan. And exercise plan may sound like it's something that people can't achieve, but everybody can have it. Plan just simply says there's a discipline around it. If it's walking,
And it includes both walking and strengthening.
and the strengthening exercises. So you have to tell yourself every day, you're eating 3 meals a day, you know the importance of nutrition, you're ensuring your protein intake is good, so you got to ensure that you have an exercise plan. That simply says you walk and you do the strengthening exercises every day. If you can't walk, you can still do chair fit exercises. There are exercises you can do laying down in bed. So if we don't do them, it's because we choose not to do them.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's a terrific introduction. Eloise, Juanita, let us just turn this over to you now, and you talk about, with Eloise, talk about walking, and you talk then about what you can offer in the way of chair exercises. And you're going to demonstrate for us today?
Sure. Well, as Dr. Sethi said, the importance of walking can't be understated. We, like she had mentioned, the American College of Sports Medicine, the International Council of Active Aging, the American Heart Association, Cancer Association, all of them say that exercise is very important. 30 minutes per day, 10-minute increments are fine. If you come to the fitness center, the first thing you'll do is warm up your body, and we start where you are. So let's say you're a beginner, you can only do 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes this week, it's 6 minutes the next week. You need to be, and 7 minutes, and on we go till we hopefully can get you to 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes a day on the new step. Maybe if you're a walker, you might want the treadmill. If you're a cyclist, we've got the incumbent bikes. We have a rower. We have a biodeck. So there's different modalities of exercise for you to get your heart rate up. And Dr. Sethi also mentioned that it has so many more benefits than just strengthening your heart. It burns calories, so it keeps our weight intact. It also, she mentioned Norman Vincent Peale. If you can sustain your exercise 20 to 30 minutes at a moderate rate, then that sends a cascade of chemicals that make you feel better, and that hits the motivation part of your brain, so that you will get up and be consistent with your exercise routine, that you will get up and go down and eat the good meals that you need to do, that you won't stay in your apartment. So exercise hits everything. Every part of your body, every cell in your body.
I think
it
we
helps.
don't think about the emotional part of it.
And that's it's key, because as we age, we go through so much. There's so many things here, so many losses that happen right here, and so many worries. Hopefully Green Spring helps to take care of a lot of those. You have your wonderful medical staff, you have the fitness, you have the social work, you have the ability to take the needs, and Green Spring will handle those. But you need to take care of yourself. And part of that is, very big part is the exercise that you have to do. And I just want to say that if you can just do it, as Nike says, that will make you feel better. It takes about 10 minutes to warm up your body. And once you put in 10 minutes, then you might feel more like 12, 15, because now you're warmed up. I love the fitness center because another very important aspect is social. That if we introduce you to anybody you're sitting next to, anybody you pass in the fitness center, it's a very friendly place. And if you both come at the same time, if you're not there, they're going to be asking, where's Eloise? She usually comes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I'll go, I don't know. And then Eloise will come and go, oh, I was gone seeing the kids. So it's really important that the social aspect of exercise, whether walking in the halls with your friends or walking outside, great walking group in the mornings, walking outside. So it's very important socially. But okay, so you wanted to know some exercises to do. As Dr. Sethi was saying, if you have some challenges in the hips and knees and ankles and feet, you can't pass 50, 60 and not have something wrong with you. If those are an issue, we definitely have, and low back, wow. You can come in and your back is protected and stabilized on the new step and on the bikes.
Tell us what a new step is.
A new step is, and they use it in physical therapy too, it is like a little bike almost, except where you're pressing through the heels and you're using your upper body and lower body at the same time. So that's wonderful for you. But what's nice is the back is supported. So if you have back problems, that's a very good option for you. And then we have the bicycle, and then we have the treadmill, we have the elliptical for those that are very fit. Wonderful. Again, upper body, lower body, if you can get both moving. Like Dr. Sethi said, when you're walking, use your arms, pump with those arms. And her posture, very important. You are thinking about pulling your chin in. When you pull your chin in, that automatically elongates the spine, lifts the heart, abdominals contract, they activate, and then you want to stride out the best that you can. So, I mean, I've got short little legs like Eloise, so we're not going to be striding out because that's not efficient for us. But we're going to be walking heel, ball of the foot, toe. And again, you mentioned people that maybe you can't walk. You have, if you have a walker, you can walk. But if you're in a scooter, then we do have chair exercises for you. And we have them on TV. Channel 6 has them. You can, if you say, oh, I don't get Channel 6, then you can come buy a CD here and see some of your friends exercising. So it would be Andrea that's exercising, and there'll be two of your residents right there doing intermediate and advanced exercises. So it's hitting all three levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced. All of the classes that are in person, that you walk to in person, I like those because again, it's social. You're with friends. And you might say, oh, I'm not good at this. It doesn't matter. Everybody has issues. We all have shoulders. We have necks. Something's hurting on everybody. So what we do is the best we can. If you can't do this, then there's something else we can do. And I just brought a few toys, but every class will either utilize balls or bands. And what's nice about bands is that you get them in physical therapy. So if you've had physical therapy to strengthen some part of your body, you're going to take that home.
They will also give you, if they finally get too stretchy or they break, you can go down and they'll give you another one.
Exactly. And you can buy some. If you find there are different levels, red, yellow, I mean, there's all kinds of levels in TheraBands, from easy to hard. You start where you are. We're not going to compare you to anybody else, and you shouldn't either. You start where you are, and like Dr. Sethi said, you need to somehow keep track of your exercise to see if you are getting stronger. I love, again, the fitness center because we keep track. We write down your repetitions and your weight. We want you to increase in your strength. Years back, there was a book called Biomarkers that Dr. Sethi's probably read, and maybe some of you. Years ago, and it was talking about, it did an MRI of a young woman's thigh and a 90-year-old woman's thigh. They put both on 12 weeks of weight training, 3 times a week, total body. In 12 weeks, the young 24-year-old and the 90-year-old had both increased by 24%. Now, does that mean you could press what the young person could? No, but you were 24% stronger. So there is no age that you can't get stronger. It's consistency.
Right.
Consistency of your walks, consistency of your strength training. So, again, you have to take care of yourself. And self-care takes time. So put in the time for you to exercise, because then you can take your trip. You can go play with your grandkids.
Juanita, what is the frequency that you recommend?
Well, we would like you to do aerobic activity every day. If you
Would
can.
you?
Oh, sure. But that doesn't mean you have to come into the fitness center every day. We have people that put in their prescription and come over for 10 minutes of New Step. Why not? Why are you sitting there waiting? Just walk next door, do 10 minutes, look at the clock, go back. That's 10 minutes that you have done. 10 minutes a day is an hour a week. Well, 70 minutes a week. You start adding little minutes to that, increasing, your body is so incredible. It adapts. You overload it a little bit, do a little bit more than you did the day before, it adapts to that. You feel better, you feel stronger. Oh, I can do more. It's incredible. You know, we have people getting ready for summer trips. We have people getting ready for trips in a couple of months. They say, hey, I'm going to be walking on uneven surfaces. So they come, they take our balance classes. We not only talk about proper walking, but we walk on all kinds of surfaces so that your body gets used to a different surface. Because you're going to go to Venice, you're not going to be on a sidewalk, you're going to be on cobblestones, right? So we need to practice. The body is incredible. It's got muscle memory. You start working out, it's going to remember how to do those correctly. And again, I'm with Dr. Sethi. Come in and learn how to do things correctly so you don't injure yourself, right? And use the right amount of weight, the right strengthening of the band. Don't take this black one and say, oh, I can't do it. Well, we can modify it and we can lengthen it away from where you're holding it. But this is too hard for a beginner. Let's feel good about our exercise and let's go for something lighter and work up. And the fitness specialists at the gym can help you do that. We, again, start very conservatively, and some people go, I don't feel this. Well, you know what? You might in 2 days. Do you see? So whatever you are doing, if you're feeling it in the joint, okay, we're going to stop. I can find you something else to do. The specialist can do that. If you're feeling in the muscle, okay, that's all right. 2 days later. That's okay. It's muscle. It's not the joint. We don't want pain. We don't want pain.
Well, now, Juanita, when somebody comes into the fitness center, say for the first time, can they immediately get help from one of the fitness center?
Well, we fill out a little
staff?
registration, and the new registration form is 1 page. And so we fill that information out. You chat with a fitness specialist. You say, hey, I really need to strengthen my core, which of course, the core is not just this. Shoulder girdle down into the pelvic region. So that, and Dr. Sethi mentioned this, your, not just the leg strength, your core strength is going to keep you better balanced. Okay, it's very important. If you don't have core strength, you're laying back like this. It's all relaxed. You take time to sit up in your chair in good proper alignment, you're activating all these muscles. So you're working on that. If you take 5 minutes every hour and sit up straight for 5 minutes, that's the beginning exercise right there. But we can help you. We can help you do that.
All right. Basically, what you're saying then is that you help somebody develop an exercise plan.
Yes, you need an exercise plan, and you want to keep track, and you're actually rewarded for keeping track. That's where you get your T-shirts. You get a pin, a T-shirt, a bag.
So it's more than just psychological and physical.
That's right.
And you know what? We all want goals. You know, every day is another chance for you to get stronger, better, a better you. And it's just like Dr. Sethi says, every day you have to make the decision to get up out of bed, to eat a good breakfast, to go for a walk, to come to the fitness center. You know, every day you have that chance. Every day is a new day.
So I'm very anxious to see what you're going to show us.
Well, I also now
someone else has a program.
I was going to say, let's stop and
I did too much
let
talking.
Eloise talk a little bit, and then I would like to have you come back and show us what you can do.
Just very quickly, I was not able to walk before a knee replacement. One of the most important components for me of an exercise plan is the accountability and the joy of walking with someone else. I walk with my partner, Carol. We used to walk every night. Then we started strength training 3 times a week. So we walk every night that we don't do the strength training. So that knowing that someone is waiting for you, knowing that you...
Do you do it at the same time every day?
We do it
when
together.
You do it?
And that makes me accountable for doing what I need to do.
And one day you may not feel like it, but Carol does. So she goes, come on, let's go. Then the next time she won't feel like it, you will, and you'll say, come on, let's go.
Encourage each other.
You encourage each other.
Right. So that's the most important part. I do other things, but these 2 are extremely important.
Those 2 things allow you to do the other things.
All right. Yeah, that would certainly make sense. If somebody is waiting for you and counting on you, you get there. Good point, Eloise.
And it's a social as well. It's nice to catch
Very
up.
important for aging.
Yes, and I would think that having a walking partner that you actually liked would
It makes a
would be
huge
helpful.
That's probably
So
key.
helpful.
That's key, I would say.
That goes without saying, I would say. All right, thank you, Eloise, for that contribution. And you are an inspiration to us all. What can I say?
Well, I try to add something regularly.
Challenging.
do you?
She's
Yes,
challenging
yeah.
her body, which
I
is
started,
very important.
I've been doing a high-intensity water aerobics for 18 years. I've developed some friendships there. We may not see each other anywhere else, but if I'm not there, I've got to email and let them know why I'm not there.
Oh.
'Cause
Okay.
your
Or the
friends will
instructor.
worry.
They
They'll worry about you.
Right.
All right.
Then when I knew that I could start walking, I started the walking program with Carol. We added the strength training. I do Qigong at home on a tape.
You took Tai Chi at one
I
point.
took Tai
which
Chi.
is offered here on
Yes,
Monday
and it's
mornings.
wonderful. There's a man named Don Alf who has done it for years
Yes.
here. It's Monday mornings at 9, and then there's an intermediate group at 10.
At 10.
But because I wear a brace on my ankle, I really was not capable of doing that. So I went to a retreat, learned Qigong, and now I do that just on my own in the apartment.
Next, one of our next programs, we'll have you demonstrate.
No, thank you.
I thought
I do it alone.
But again, on a positive note, I think we should say that just because you can't walk, there are still
Yes.
other modalities that are available.
Absolutely.
And that's right.
And
That's
you know what? The good thing about Green Spring is they're all here. You don't have to look hard for them, but you just have to think that help is available. It's around the corner.
there's so many options.
Yeah.
One of the things, Juanita, that you mentioned, and so did Dr. Sethi, is this whole issue of sitting for too long.
Oh, absolutely.
And one
That's
of the
the new
things,
smoking, they say. Sitting is the new smoking.
well, one of the things that you indicated was that there are things that you can do in your chair.
Yeah.
And when we're sitting around, show us what we can
Well, I think here's a problem, and we have a lot of people that sleep in their recliners, so because their
Yes.
beds aren't comfortable.
Yes.
So even in your recliner, what can you do? You can press your leg out. You can do what's called a quad set, which is lock your knee, push your leg down. That is an isometric activity. There's no movement, but it's definitely strengthening. That's one of the first exercises you do after knee surgery and after hip surgery. It's a quad set. So you can stretch it, press it, and set it. And hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Lock it, press it. Take a little notebook and say, and your exercises, if you've had those done, your physical therapist will give you these exercises. Don't stop those. I mean, don't stop those, because those are what's going to allow you to strengthen you enough to get up and do the other things you want to do that Eloise was talking about. So those are very important. But so if you're in a recliner for some reason, you've got exercises you can do, but one is a quad set. You can do that. One is a knee to your chest, fabulous back stretch, number one back stretch for you. So you can bring, and what else does it activate? Hip flexors, transverse, a little bit of your rectus abdominis. So you bring that down. If you're in bed, same thing. Bring it on down, one knee at a time, everything nice and slow, so that you're working this. There's no momentum, but you're working that muscle group. You're getting a contraction in the front of the body when you're lifting and a stretch on the opposite side of your body. And Doc was saying about the hands. I'm telling you, hands are really important. So she was saying squeeze them, release them. In the chair fit classes that we have, they do all kinds of movement here. And in the water arthritis, you're moving every single joint. So there's all kinds. You're fisting, you're rotating for your wrists, forearms, and you're taking your hands up and down, right and left. You're bringing your arms with a chair fit class 2. You're using all kinds of bands, so you can do your chest press. You bring that up, you push away with it. Hold it for a second, come on back. Opposite muscle group, horizontal pull. That's posture. So you're hitting the rhomboids up here, so you actually can keep your shoulders down and back. How far apart? Depends on where you are. You pull it apart, and then you release it. Everything should be done slow and controlled, no momentum, to make your muscles work. And then when you add your breathing to it, that's even better. Marry the breathing to your exercise. You inhale when it's easy, you exhale when it's hard. Inhale easy, exhale hard. Tricep press down. Triceps are very important because some of these chairs here are low. You have to have your triceps to push up, usually, your arms with. So a tricep press down would just be pressing straight down and out. Same thing you have to do here if you had a low chair. Oops, you come up and sit, okay? And get up from there. So it's a tricep press down. You've got your, losing my box back here, sorry. Then you've got, the opposite of that is your bicep curl, which is the front part of your arm. And you can take a band, put it around, and this is what they do in exercise class. And then they do alternating, one arm at a time, nice and slow, or both arms. That's the front of the arm. The press down was for the back of the arm. Working on, if you've had hip operations and some knees, you want to strengthen this outer thigh. They'll put a band around it, hold it tight, keep the feet flat, and you'll push away, nice and slow. Opposite inner thighs, a ball, a pillow at home, right? You don't need a ball, but you can get these little balls at Walmart. They were $1. We picked up a lot of them one year. And you have your feet flat and you squeeze. So inner and outer thighs, very important for hip strength, right? The strength training is so important for your bones, so important. She mentioned that you all mentioned that after 30, you start to lose your body mass. At 75, you have lost 75%. Okay, that's not good. But the good news is that you can gain strength at any time. Strong muscles pull on bones, and the bones get stronger with a good diet too, right? Yeah. So anytime you use a pillow here, isometric, contraction here, push, 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 triceps, biceps, chest. Ball or pillow under here, curl it under, hamstrings, take it out, quadricep, lock the knee. So there's so much. And here's
you can all
gosh.
This sitting down.
All this sitting down, yes. And even laying down. This, before you get up, I know we've had a problem of people getting up too quickly in the night to go to the restroom, and down they go. Well, you need to move this blood in the lower extremities back up here. So that's where your rotation can come in, your pointing and flexing can come into part. And then sit at the side of your bed, try to extend your legs a little bit. From extension, pump this blood back up here so that when you stand up, you're not going to feel lightheaded. So that's very important.
Well, these have been enormously helpful. I think we're all hearing more and more about don't sit too long. And for those of us that sit in front of our computers all day, 3 hours could go by with writing something, and that's just not a good thing.
There's stretches for that too. You mentioned that, but computer stretches, upper back, and look at your fingers again. Press them away. Fingers, palm, forearm, bicep. Hugs. Just giving yourself a little hug, stretch that upper back. Pressing back, stretch your chest. Reach up and over, there's the lateral stretch. Both ways, rotate. Inhale here, exhale on your rotation. Lean forward, stretch your low back. Sitting, bring your knees up, stretch your back, rotate your ankles. I mean, this all would take, minutes. Just minutes. Get up, go get a drink, stand at your desk, do some leg lifts.
And I think you come back both physically and mentally and psychologically refreshed. Well, I think this has been enormously helpful and very useful for many of us. So anything any of the rest of you would like to add? I see we're out of time here. It went very fast.
Yes, it did, and it was very good. I think we'll need to do more of it. I would just simply say, have an exercise plan and just take the Nike slogan, just do it. Because you know what? You can.
Very good, inspirational ending. Thank you, Dr. Sethi. And thank both of you. Juanita, this was terrific. You were so
Thanks for
helpful.
having me.
Well, we were delighted you were able to come. Eloise, as always, many thanks to you, and keep up the good walking.
Exactly.